Isaiah chapter 62, verse 5. Isaiah chapter 62, verse 5. For as a young man marries a young woman, so shall your sons marry you. And as the bridegroom rejoices over the bride, so shall your God rejoice over you. The subject that been given to me to talk in this meeting is singleness and the issue of early marriage. And some of you that are close to me know where I stand on the issue of early marriage. So I am rooting for, I'm positive, I'm rooting for the idea that early marriage, whatever that means, is good for Christian young women and young men. That is my proposition, and that's where I'm standing today. You know, some years ago, I followed my wife to an event where her director of medical practice was lecturing on fertility, I think. And the host mentioned something like that's remained in my head and kind of reinforces my idea, that the idea I've heard over the years. And he said, any woman that is at the age of 30 is an old woman, reproductively speaking. And that got me thinking. But before I get there, let me just mention one of the things, what we've learned so far. I mean, if we share the grace now, there's enough dose of information now to go home with. I mean, I was blessed. And the first thing that I'm reiterating what Eliezer said is that we need not to talk down on single people among us. Ever before I became married, as a young person, I had a dream to build a monastery. I was a youth president, and it happened that one of my members, I think I was in Kano then, every day, people kept worrying him. When are you going to get married? When are you going to get married? You know, the guy was so tired. The guy was a member of the church. Almost all the girls in the church, all the boys in the church, they gave birth to them when he was already an adult. And he watched them marry. And people kept, when are you going to get married? When are you going to, it's the trouble for him. He's a very, very, very godly man. And one day I decided to visit him and spend the night with him. I said, okay, tell me, why are you not married? And then he told me something. He said, I don't have the feeling to get married. I really want to serve the Lord. And it dawns on me that our church doesn't have space for those that really want to devote their life to serve the Lord, that have what the Bible calls the proper gift from the Lord to be celibate. And I even remember there's a land, one of my grandfather's land that had caves that I have prepared. It's still there actually. That I want to build monastery for those who don't want to be, where they can learn. I mean, I don't know if I believe that anymore, but we should create space for those who are not married among us to breathe. And some of you are not, Pastor, are you the one saying this thing? Yes, I'm the one saying this thing. Forgive me if I've been on your neck lately. Forgive me. I have good intention. But I'm not choking you. But we should allow those who are single to breathe. There are some churches you will go, they'll even say if a man is not married, he should not even work for God at all. As if non-married people are the sinful people. I've grown now to understand that the same sin that plagues single people plague married people also. Both of us are struggling. It's not that after you're married now, hallelujah, you are free from struggle, from sexual temptation, or from any other temptation, from drunkenness, from slothfulness and all that stuff. So let's allow single people to breathe. It's possible that a brother among us is not willing to marry. Yeah. It's only when the way we look at your eyeballs, the way your eyeballs are rolling, there's no sign that you have a proper gift from the Lord. Necessarily it will be on your neck. The way your mouth is moving from, it's obvious that you're not a monk. It will be on your neck. It will be on your neck. And the second thing where my heart was really heavy is with their dolphins, their presentation. In some years back, they used to do firing squad for armed robbers. If you know Kaduna very well, the flyover from Bonigora, to the left, they will tie people to the stake, and then people will come to watch them being killed for armed robbery. And there were stories in those days that people would ask for their mother to come. There's one particular one that was regular at that time. I didn't see it, but there was a news that this young man said, "Let me have my mother." And then he bit off the ear of his mom. And the lesson was that the mom actually spoiled him. Genuinely, some of the things I've come to learn now are something I'm hearing today. I'm not exaggerating. 98% of them were not taught me as a young man. All I kept hearing in the church was that broken engagement is better than a broken marriage. You know? Broken engagement is better than broken marriage. So there was this liberty in the youth fellowship where you did this one. The Lord spoke to you yesterday that this is the will of God. And then prophets now came again from another angle. Then another prophet again came from another angle. You are just at liberty. You could even see scheming among youth members. Like if you are the eligible bachelor among them, and you are the most gifted, and maybe you have money, and then you are sharp, good looking. You could see sisters scheming. You see prayers. You see people kabashing. I mean, even praying that another sister should die so that another sister will take it. No. I don't know why. I didn't realize at that time that a broken engagement is better than broken marriage. It's not in the Bible. The same reason we didn't know that heaven help those who help themselves was not in the Bible. Many of you grew to learn that was not in the Bible. So we are at liberty. We were spoiled. In fact, even elders, even pastors will not chastise you if you dump a sister. It's as good as has the Lord spoken to you? Yes, the Lord spoke to me. And that is where we began to fail in our evangelical cycle, when the authority of the scriptures no longer taking. We don't know the Bible anymore. We can pray and fast, we can kabash for 90 minutes, but we are so illiterate in the Bible, so that we think broken engagement. That reinforcement puts many of us into foolishness that we will ever live to regret, save for the grace of Christ. And there are some scars that some married men and women are carrying that remains permanent. The wish. So, as your pastor, I really want to bring this up again and again and again and again among us. You know, among the guys that are planting Reformed Baptist Church in Nigeria, I'm the luckiest. I was told that I have more young men in my church than other places. So many of you are going to be shipping in. They are going to be bringing women into this church, and it's our duty to educate you and disciple you to be proper Christian. It is not a badge of honor to go around breaking people's hearts. Hear that from me. You should be ashamed of yourself. I mean, if you see, because usually I ask people, "Oh, I'm dating this girl." I'll ask you, "Who led you?" You say, "The Lord has led me." How come the Lord led you in and led you out? How is God leading you? Sometimes leading you to two sisters simultaneously. That is not the God of this church. And that's not the God of this Bible. You are just on your own. I feel you. I feel you. I can identify with that. Satan is just working on your head. You must be ashamed of yourself. Jesus teaching in Matthew chapter 5, he said, let your yes, and let your no be. He said, anything outside that is from where? It's from where? It's from the devil. Anything that is yes, no, no, yes, is satanic. So I'm talking, let's cast out devil. There are a lot of devil to cast out sometimes from your people. And an upright man make a vow and keep it even if it's to his injury. You are not learning that again from the church, that you make a commitment, even if it's going to cost your life. I even heard from married people that I want to divorce. They say, I better stay alive, oh. I better stay alive than to be dead in this man. This woman will kill me. Now, you don't understand the scripture. It is better you are dead obeying God than to be alive disobeying God. It's as simple as that. If obeying God will take your life, so be it. And if disobeying God means lengthening of your days and living in disobedience, you are no longer living. We are covenant people. I am not saying even if it's obvious, you should not break up. Let that reality be obvious to all of us, to many of us. And the reason why you can switch is that dating now, as Odofin was saying, has moved to secret things. That we don't know when you enter, we don't even know when we only hear you when you are out. But assuming all of us, for instance, Eliezer is dating this, we know Eliezer is dating that lady there. We go see how he will come back, tell us, say, the Lord has, we will not go agree. He not lie. He not go stand here to preach. He not go fit. You know, are you listening? He not go fit. Except it becomes so obvious that we will clear him of the guilt. It's obvious that the thing could not work because it was obvious. But the idea that, pastor, when they want to fool pastors, this pastor, last week you didn't see me here. So I went to the mountain to pray. And as I was waiting upon the Lord, I fell into a trance. A breeze just blew over my head. And I saw two angels standing on this side and this side. And they say, my son, my son. You go walk here now. You need to walk here now. We don't pass that level. Covenant. You don't, after your marriage, start learning how to be faithful. You don't go walk again. It's too late. All the divorce cases you are hearing, all these things. So anytime people come before me, marital issue, either my family people that are issue, I tell them, this thing not be today. This thing was doing that dating, what they call dating now. That's where this egg was hatched. This is where this thing was made of. Let's go back there. And usually we'll get back there and it's obvious. It's obvious. So be faithful to yourself and to any other person you want to date. I don't want to use the word date. That you want to marry. You see a lady you want to marry, let us know. Let's pray about it. If it's clear, walk up to the lady's parents. Say, this is your daughter. I want to marry. It may take 1 year, 2 years, whatever years it takes. Everybody know that two of you are going out. That's another word. You are going out. Where are you going? You are going out. All these are demonic languages. Yes. So that it make it look so light. Make it look so easy. We are going out. Or we are seeing each other. We are seeing each other. Oh, we are dating. It makes it look so, it removes burden. It removes that responsibility to be committed. You've evacuated. You don't, see, covenant does have its languages, isn't it? Use covenant languages. Pastor, this is a lady I'm committed to. And I'm in love to. And I pray God help me to be faithful to. And every day he will ask you, how is your commitment? I don't know how to use it. How is your committed partner? That is that. I'm sure there will be question and I know some of you will ask, there will be question and answer, but we'll get there. I won't spend time on this. This one is not, I want to talk to you from my heart about early marriage. And two caveats before I get into my subject proper is that when I'm talking about early marriage, I'm not talking about child marriage. The Child Right Act in Nigeria covers that. The minimum or the ripe age for marriage under our law is 18. They are working on it to be 16 now, but 18 is still the standard. But the Islamic North, under Sharia law, does permit a man to marry a girl at least 12 or 13. In Islamic law, once a girl sees her first period, she's ready for marriage. And you understand that the issue there, the VVF, and all kinds of social issue, health issue up north. That's not what we're talking about. No. And you're not talking, and as I'm talking about early marriage, I'm aware of the issue of out-of-school children. How would early marriage encourage that and all that? That's not what I'm talking about. The legal age for marriage is 18. But what I want to challenge is that when we're talking about maturity and the ripe age for people to marry, who calls the shots? Who? Is it the popular culture or the Bible? Because a lot of deductions are being made regarding this age and all that stuff. Of course, there are no explicit command in the Bible that thou shalt get married at the age of 18. The 18 age is the government, isn't it? It's a set of studies. Sociologists, psychologists, child, whatever, by the age of 18, at least, at the minimum. I mean, a lady will be mature. But, yeah, I mean, that is more of a Western worldview. In an African world, I think personally, from the age of 16, most of your mother, if you are my age married, from the age of 16 upward, a woman can actually give birth or have matured enough mentally to handle a man. Actually, women are more older than men, according to what I learned. If a woman is 16, she's actually like 19. They are like 3 or 4 years older than their actual age. That's why you could see a 35-year-old man marry a 20, and the girl is running ring around him. The man is tall and old, but the small girl is running him because they are mentally prepared than us and all that. So I'm aware of all those things. So all I'm going to say today is just like deductions from the scripture to support my argument. I want to see young people marry, okay? And there is a study done by this sociologist at Baylor University in the US, done an extensive study work. It's not a Christian, but they've done a study, heavy study I've been looking at. His name is Jeremy Oker. And he said, I'm quoting him now, he said, those who are more committed religiously in terms of both religious service attendance and self-reported importance of religion, irrespective of religious tradition, is quoting due, and those who believe the Bible is authoritative are also more likely to marry earlier than other people, unquote. So what he's saying is that within the religious group, in like the Mormons, the Baptists, the conservatives, they're likely to marry earlier than the rest of open. Vodi Vokam, I was listening to him recently, and he's talking about how he's grooming his 17-year-old girl for marriage. That he takes charge as a father. Once the girl hits 16 in his house, he will take charge and begin to mentor them to marry. I think we are lacking that a lot. All we do now is to push our children to a degree. I want my daughter to be a doctor, and all that stuff, and we don't really care. It seems we care more about our children's achievement than this matter I'm talking about. So people are not really getting married anymore early. the average age for marriage now is about 30, true or false? Because, and there are many reasons. Let me talk about our context. Most of the statistics I have are from US. Let me just talk about our context. The reason is that there is this issue of there are some who are serving. I have a nephew who is serving now, and I think he's over 30 now, or maybe 30 years of age. You are still in primary school at age 13. You are still in secondary school at age 18. Then you are in the university, and God bless ASO. And then you don't even know when you are graduating. And then at 24, 25, you are still in the university. And then you are doing youth corps at the age of 26. And then on and on and on and on and on. And there are some deprivation. You come from a family where you couldn't go through school very quickly. I know I understand all of those things and all that. But generally, people don't really, marriage, they shock people anymore. And there are many reasons. Like there are some men who are not married who are enjoying marriage benefit full time. So why will you commit when they are already washing clothes for you, making indomie and 2 eggs for you, and then on and on and on? Excuse me. So there are about 4 reasons I want to encourage you young people to marry early. And marry earlier means anything from 18 above. Between 18 and 23, 25, you should be, I'm just talking about that generally. Taking into consideration all the other factors that have been mentioned: singleness, vocational singleness, circumstances, issues that come with life. But under normal circumstances, if things go well, if by the age of 20 you are almost done with your basic education, good. The first thing I want to encourage us with that, marriage in and of itself is a beautiful thing and it's wonderful. Marriage is beautiful and wonderful. There's a way marriage is being painted to you people these days that it looks so scary. It's like you are going to kill yourself. Or God, you really want to go and marry? I don't know if they do bachelor if anymore. If you used to go to some bachelor party, it's like they say, "Oh God, do you really want to go and do this thing?" It's like after you're married now, you can't go out, you can't hang out with your friends, like you are now in prison. So there's a picture that is before you guys that make it look like getting married is like life of imprisonment. It's like you are finished. That is not true. It is this world that is killing us. Proverbs chapter 18 verse 22 said, he who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord. Hebrews chapter 13 verse 4 says, marriage be held in honor among all. Marriage is an honorable thing. It's a good thing. It's as good as first class degree. The way you look forward to a big thing like green card. This is the first institution that God created. And this is the first thing that Adam, in his unfallen state, looked upon and said, this is awesome. And say, it's good. It's good. It's good. The current king of England, Charles III, while he was still in school, I think at the age of 18, between 18 and 20, he fell in love with Camilla Bowles, who is now the queen consort. But the queen thought that Camilla was not royal enough. So, but he had an uncle who was a bad guy. The guy, I don't know what to call his name now, I'm online. He has an uncle. Everybody knows the uncle is bad anyway. That uncle that is not wearing his royal this thing, that has been stripped off of his royal this thing. He called Charles. He said, why don't you go and sow your oats, your wild oats? Why do you want to marry now? Come on, enjoy. And he unleashed his nephew to do all kinds of things until he ended up with Diana. Of course, when Diana came into the picture, the guy was already a confirmed womanizer. You see, people think that wedding marriage will stop promiscuity. No. And if you look at Diana documentary, Diana said we're about 3 in that marriage. It is Diana, Charles, and Camilla. Camilla was even married, but things were going on. Some people think marriage is like a yoke. It's like, young men, you hear that fear women, no? Have you heard that before? Say fear women. I see women carry on. As if women are they are this terrible, they are devils, demons. If they are fair, they are mommy water. If they are dark, they are witch, all kinds of things. And then some sisters who've heard this before, men are scam, isn't it? All men are liars. All men are he-goats. All men are what? Dogs, yeah. You see, Josh. Thank you for that word. But that is not the word of God, isn't it? People using their own personal experiences to interpret other realities. As I was mentioning on Sunday, there are men that are not dogs. You've not met them yet. How do you even know men are dogs? It is that you are opening your legs, your tiny legs. It is the result of your own indiscipline that you are now become the gospel now. Don't be afraid. Marriage is a good thing, particularly if it happens within the context of the church, believing community. I'm a Christian, my wife is a Christian, we are both born again. God is our Father. It's a beautiful thing. So look forward to it. So once you are already in your teenage years, 16, 17, and I've met people that were dating. I slept in the house. They met themselves. The guy was 17, the lady was 16, and they were dating until they got married at the age of. When do you think love is best, is sweetest, the best? It's when you are young. That's why I read those passages I read in your hearing. The idea of young, time has failed me to start doing Hebrew word for young and what it means. Young means young. It's only in Nigeria that you have 50-year-old youth leader. Youth leader of a political party is 56 years old. In fact, there's one guy who is 70-something now who says, I'm also a youth. Marriage is a beautiful thing. Love it, surely you should look forward to it if you are called into that vocation. Number 2, marriage mature people. Marriage matures people. I don't have time to go back to our own African context. Before now, I'm talking about 30, 40, 50 years ago. Once you are like 16 as a young man, your father will begin to mentor you for marriage. In our own community, this middle belt area, your father, by then they must make, they know this family, they know the kind of family, they know where you are going, okay? It's not like now that urbanization and industrial revolution has changed. You know where you are going, so your father must have talked to the family of Odofi and the family of Maduka, they've made arrangements. They know Joshua is going there. So at the age of 16, Joshua is packaged to the prospective father-in-law's house to be there and to be mentored for 4 years. So you are learning. At that time, you don't even know among the girls in that family, the one that you are getting married to, you are just serving. Your obedience will be tested. Your capacity will be tested. If you don't even know how to eat well, it will be tested. And after 4 years, 5 years, then they'll give you your wife. You take your wife back. Your wife will now stay with your mom for a while. And then your mom also will mentor your wife. You know, it went well. And I think T.D. Jakes has written a book supporting that idea. I mean, we are far away from there now. Marriage mature people. I mean, it is known that 25-year-olds are seeing themselves as young, living with dad. You are 25 years, dad is still paying your bills. 25. You are still living under the dad's roof. Marriage, of course, I'm not saying it's an easy thing, but there's a way it matures you. It work maturity in us. Number 3, early marriage cures sexual immorality. You know, recently I was talking to one pastor, one senior pastor. You know, in those days, almost every Sunday there will be excommunication in church. Oh, Sister Abigail, don't carry pregnancy, and then we are disciplined to our big girl and all that stuff. But for the past 10, 15 years now, that has gone down. And I was asking Pastor, what's happening? He said, you might not know. The reason now is that we've become so wise with sexuality now, isn't it? If a person carry belly now, what would I say? If a young girl in the church carry belly now, what would people say? They say, we want to carry belly, pin the man down. Who carry belly now? Who do carry belly now? Who carry belly now? You can walk up to any health center and then contraceptive for secondary school. I was in a primary health center and they were calling secondary school children as young as 12. They were telling their parents, say, if you don't want shame to come to your family, bring your children. Then they'll put something. Even some children now do on their own. But what was the point of 1 Corinthians chapter 7 verse 1? It says, for the sake of sexual immorality, let everybody marry. And as a church, we will fool ourselves over the years to, we are telling people, don't sleep around though. Don't sleep around though. But body is not wood. I have a niece, 17-year-old at that time. I mentioned that we were driving, and my vehicle was spoiled at Abuja, and she was making a conversation with me. I said, Uncle, do you know my parents think blood does not run through my vein? Because these Christian parents, they don't want to believe that their holy children are having feelings. As a pastor, my daughter, my children, it's other people's children, not my own children, isn't it? But they're having feelings. 16-year-old, 17-year-old are having surge of testosterone running. How do I know that? I was there before. So preach what you want to preach. It does not change the chemistry. So how long can a sister or a brother wait? Particularly, depending on your genetic disposition. There's some family, they don't really have that issue in their family. They only like money, they don't have issue of women. But there's some family. Their grandfather had 9 wives and 15 concubines. Their gene is packed. Before they turn 13, they're already experimenting. Early marriage. For the Bible said it is better to marry than to burn. That is 1 Corinthians chapter 7. All this burning, all this masturbation stuff, marry. If I have my way, let me not go there. But marriage help with sexual immorality. We are putting too much on our young people that they can bear, that the scripture does not put upon them. Let's encourage our young men. I'm encouraging you to marry, okay? Than to burn. And this age is not helping matters. We live in an over-sexualized society where your mobile, everything is sex. Everything from advertisements to everywhere you go is sex all over the place. We should be on top of our game and help our young men to see marriage as a good thing and also help them to cure or to curb the sexual passions that come with being human. I'm quoting one author, said, it is unreasonable, foolish, and harmful to place this weight of celibacy on young people. Sex is a good gift given to us by God, meant for our enjoyment in the way God has designed. Rather than encouraging young people to delay marriage and a sexual relationship with their spouse, we should encourage them to marry. This way, they can enjoy God's gift of sex in a way that protects them from sexual immorality and glorifies our honor God. Number 4, finally, marriage replenish replenishes the earth and the church and the community or the leadership space. Who do you think should sit on these pews? Who do you think, how do we replenish the mandate, the creation mandate to replenish? It's given to us, your mandate. And I'm arguing that one or two children does not really look like replenishment for me. I mean, of course, there are many reasons why we have few children. But one child regime does not really help for me. And if you really want to have a very good, maybe 5, 6 children, and you are getting into a relationship at the age of 35, it is becoming unreasonable to go that far now. But if a lady is already giving birth at the age of 21, and God helping you, there is good health and everything good, you can go as far as 7 or 6. And some of you now, you see the girls shaking their head. You see childbirth as punishment. Because you're looking at your skin. This is your skin now that you are rubbing cream on. That you don't want to go that far. If you can manage 1 or 2, it's enough. It's not enough. God is looking towards Christian family to produce the next generation of Christians. That will be missionaries, that will be pastors, that will be leaders in the society. We are not expecting the Boko Haram children to dominate this pew. It is, and I'm saying, early marriage, replenish. Because sometimes you go to some church, people are 70, 80, you look back, no children. 4 things I've used to encourage you. One, marriage is a good thing. It's a very good thing. It's a very wonderful thing. To be in a marriage relationship with your spouse is a good thing. Number 2, marriage. Handle the issue of sexual immorality. Marriage, mature people. You cannot be boy, Obi is a boy. And then let me just talk about issues, then I'll close. People now say, Pastor, you don't understand how hard. Things are hard, okay? But things has always been hard. Many of you think that things are harder now than it used to be in the 70s. The book of Ecclesiastes says, don't say that the old time is better than now. See, that's not wisdom. My dad told me when Peugeot 504 cheerleader was 300 naira. Now, how many people got Peugeot at that time? Because you could be a lawyer and earning 50 kobo at that time. I also knew when a plot of land in Wuse was sold for 70,000. And many could not buy. Because level 6 step, whatever, will be like 1,500 naira. I'm talking about 98, just recent history. Things has always been hard. Don't make marriage look so distant. Okay? It's hard, but it will mature you. The issue of education and attainment. I want to finish my youth service. You know, there was a brother came to my house. He said, Pastor, I have left he was dating a girl. He said, I've left my, I said, why? He said, today he went to Dunamis and the pastor was preaching and said, if you don't have first degree, if you have not served, if you don't have so and so, and then you are getting married, you are a fool. At that point, the guy was 33. He said, now, I'm going, I said, oh, God, that sermon is not for you. They're talking about those who are like 10. Who can plan like, you are 33. Say, I want to go back and get my first degree. So that will give him 4 years, making 37. I said, that sermon, make it pass over your head. I said, your own case now, be saying you are going to marry at the same time you are doing school at the same time. It is a will. See, the Queen is lying in state in England. Guess the length of the queue. 10 miles. David Beckham spent 12 hours standing to get to the casket yesterday. And now they have increased to 24 hours, that you are going to be on the queue for 24 hours just to get to pass by the casket. Not that you are going to see anything inside the casket. But because people want to do it. Sometimes we don't have desire. We use excuses. It's my school. Eli Joseph Selif, the former president of Liberia, the father was an ambassador, I think. And at the age of 17, he walked up to the father. I said, I want to marry now. After my marriage, I'll go to university. She was disowned. But she got married, and then she had a baby at the age of 18, second one at the age of 20, third one at the age of 21 or 22. And then by the age of 23, she was back in the university. By 27, she graduated. She became a doctor. She became a president. It is the mindset, isn't it? It's the mindset. I'm not saying carry belly and go to university. That's what I'm saying. But life is always difficult. Life is not easy. Another thing people say is that I must get degree. We must disabuse our mind. Western education is not the only education there is. Who said we must all go to university? And I think in the face of ASU strike now, there is a conversation going on that this idea of university is killing the country. People should go and learn who is going to be medicine, who is going to do POP. If all of us end up BM or Covenant University, who are the artisans? Where are the artisans? In your mind, it's not my portion. So let Jacob be laborer. Yes. And then Oche is the doctor. And then Jacob is the unfortunate one that couldn't get to the university. But there are a lot of university graduates running around this town who cannot feed themselves, isn't it? With their certificate in their pockets. And guess what? Some plumber that cannot speak ABCD are earning heavy amount of money. It's just that. So we should liberate this idea. In this church, there must be people that are not too educated. If the man can read and write, that is the minimum. And then you can do other things. Head can do other things. Masonry, this. But the issue is now, if a brother here, Isaac now, they say, what do you do for a living? And Isaac want to date Mrs. Odofi Yoga's sister, who is now first class graduate of one Covenant University. And Isaac stop at secondary school or GS3 and learn bricklaying. Even if he's riding a car from that bricklaying, he no go work. Because the day you're going to meet Mr. Daniel, say, what do you do for a living? You're not going to sit down. And then your friend asks you, who are you going out with? Say, my guy is a bricklayer. Bricklayer. But no, if your guy is, actually my guy just came back from Canada, my guy is a medical doctor, even if he's a fool, even if he's a complete fool, you prefer him to an electrician who loves God, faithful, committed, responsible, wise. And some of you also, you are so weak because you are a bricklayer, you can't date me. If my eyes fix on the president's daughter, I will go. I will go. We will die there. I will speak them into it. I will. How do you think I get joy down here? I'm just a bad boy. I mean, if I set my eyes on a thing, no, there's no impossibility. No way, no way. I will clear my mouth. I'll put sugar in my mouth. I'll put honey in my mouth. I'll tell them. I'll tell them. I mean, you can be a bricklayer and be the president-in-law. Don't talk down yourself. It is a function of what is in your brain. You can be a tailor, not tailor, fashion designer. You can be a fashion. Because tailor now is something else. It's called Bioma. Fashion designer, and then you can be anything you want to. We don't need all of us want to be doctors and all that. Another thing, the issue of school fees. I say, if you go to, this issue of school fees, is it not we that are cleaning ourselves by putting our children in private school? Homeschool your children. Homeschool them. Paul Washer, Vodi, all the big guys you are reading on them, they're all homeschooling their children. Mr. Alaba, homeschooling their children. I know people that homeschool their children in this town. They don't need to pay any schools to anybody. Even public school is not bad. Most of us went to public school. And we are not stupid. Yes, Gariki, you don't even pay up to 5,000 naira. And then you are paying 300 and 500,000 per term for your child. Only God knows what they are teaching your child. And then because of that, we pay taxes. The outside men we think are stupid will send their children, they'll have like 20 children, send all of them to public school. You are funding them. And then you now work your head to send your own to private school. And then you are sweating. So let's have two. All those fears are not unfounded. School fees, pressure, like all these things. And look at where we are as Christians today. Guys, our Christian young men and women are not getting married. We are not married on time. We are looking for this big, we must get house, we must get car, we must get this. Look at your house full of friends that you went to the same school with. Some are still living in their father's house. They are married. They will suffer, but after a while, they reset. There are men in Senate, in the House of Assembly now that cannot even speak English. My admonition, I'm just adding to what my two brothers have said today, the issue of early marriage is that let's encourage ourselves. If that is your gifting. And sometimes we are bad. If you see young people now going out, I say, Christian, Josh, how old are you? Say, can you see Josh? How old are you? How old is he? They can't body the hot. You're asking about age. What do you concern age? Concern what is going through. If there's a means of encouraging them, let us do so. You don't need to have all the money in this world to marry. Little resources, contentment, godliness is enough to start a home. And then both of you mature together, work things out together, work dirty, and then until God, if He will, chooses to bless you. That is my admonition to our young people here today. Don't be afraid of marriage. You know they kill anybody. Okay. And I'm waiting for your fire. I know you are going to ask questions. So I'm waiting for your questions. Some of you are even graduate already and working. I don't know why you are still single. I don't know why you are still single. I don't know why. And you are not celibate. The Lord grant you understanding, and let's get back to this business. See, one day, this is just for pragmatic reasons. You can see the population is tilting now like this. The South, the Christian South are not having children. The Islamic North are having children. Even in America now, people are not having children. It's telling on them. Japan, many years ago, they were not having children. Now, they have what they call age population at their disposal. Canada, why Canada inviting everybody to go? China, that had one child policy, are begging people now to have children. You cannot overpopulate. People say overpopulation was from the pit of hell. Contraceptives, no help. The idea that we are getting, it is the Western people, it is unbelievers that are saying we are growing. This world, the Lord has worked it out that if all of us have 10 children, there will be space. As one is dropping, one is dying. And it's God's providence. So all this fear, I must have double degree, 3 degrees, it is okay. But if you think you want to marry, why don't you make yourself available for marriage? And again, let me end with a caveat. It is possible to be ready and then nothing is coming forth. Yours truly, I began to look for a wife from the age 23. I wanted to marry before I turned 25, but it didn't work out for me. Maybe I had poor education, I don't have mentorship and all kinds of things that happen. But it's okay to wait and wait and wait and it did not come. But let it be that the fault, let it not be the fault is from you. Be ready for marriage is a good thing. To marry very early. Enjoy your wife while you are young. If you marry at the age of 40, let me talk to men. At the age of 40, right at the age of 40, Agbo will be assisting you to work out your capacity in the other room. A boy of 20, 30 they don't need assistance except if they are sick. A man at the age of 40, at the age of 60, you are still paying school fees. When will you retire? The Bible says, teach us to number our days. Apply our heart to wisdom. And then you marry at the age of 40, you now marry, some of you are selfish, you are 40, you are looking for 22. And then you now have a 22, young and hot in bed, and 40 and 22. Look at the polarity. I mean, it's not working out. No. The Lord grant you wisdom in all of these things. Amen.